everyone, this is Persephone. I'm attempting something that has never been done before, I think, by anyone else offering fake advice about Niteflirt on YouTube, because all of those people are scammers. I'm the only one who's not. And you see a screenshot from inside my own account, from one of my listings, okay? So I'm going to assume you're a total beginner. What the hell is a listing? Let's start from that. A listing is an online ad you put to advertise offering a specific kind of adult service. Like here that you see the listing titled, this person says, let me rate you. You rate something that is 2 inches, 3 inches, and so on. Can I pray for you? I have no idea what that is, probably some kind of religious play, but that's what she offers. Cute, sexy, petite, 19-year-old, I hope she is, and it's not stolen photos. So the men read all of this, the clients, and decide which one they're going to click on. On the left, we see the names of the goddesses. I shared this screenshot on the Niteflirt forum too to make sure, 100% sure that I'm not going to say anything incorrect. And here you see the categories of the women. That there are many different categories and people are bidding. The front page, the first page, gets most of the traffic. So it's from number 1 to number 20. You don't see all the way down. But it's very important to be, in my opinion and from my experience, in the top 3 to 4 pages. I had very good results even on page 3. But if you are new, I would say aim for number 1. Now what is this? The bidding part. Pretty much, if I wanted to knock off Christian girl from her position, I would have to bid 165. Imagine if you have ever attempted a, let's say, Poussin plus doll online auction on eBay or any kind of online auction, is you have to bid more to take this person's place. Which essentially is something that people say, oh, but it's very good, it gives new flirts the chance to be featured on the platform. And yeah, that's true, but I don't like that it's a zero-sum game, that for me to be number 5, I have to kick out someone from here. And essentially, Niteflirt takes more and more money from us. Like, they already take a cut, and then... But okay, someone's going to say, Persephone, this is the system we have, you don't like it, the door is right there. Fair enough. So I asked the other women on Niteflirt, because I saw that this was something very weird, if you see it on my listing, that all of this, even number 2, number 3, is under $2. And then all of a sudden, there is this $10 thing here from Mistress Maya, whatever, that she offers race play. Like, why is the difference so big between this and this? And there are 2 possible reasons for that I'm going to analyze with you today. And I'm going to start from the bad reason. The bad reason, I don't know this woman, and I'm just using this as an example, okay? I don't say anything with ill will or against anyone. The bad reason is that she is getting to bid a lot more out of insecurity or when she's starting, or she could be very competitive. So she wants to stay on number 1 at all costs. So she has this ridiculously clicking like high bid. And how does that translate in like human realm money? This means every time someone clicks on this, she pays $10.33. And this can escalate to gambling really, really fast. I say this because I come from a family with people with very addictive personalities. You can very easily get sucked into adding a high bid and getting clicked to death. And then before you know it, you blew $100 and you got exactly nothing back. So if you are new and you are starting and you don't know how much to bid and you don't have a lot of money, you don't want to spend $200 with uncertain results, I would say stay online as many hours as possible, bid to be in the first 3 pages of the category that you want, and stay there and wait. This is a job that it's very similar to a private investigator, it's very similar to a spy, someone being in the army, it's very similar to a midwife that she has to stay there and wait for the labor to progress. You have to be patient. It's not like coming. One of the reasons that I do both this and coming is because I have periods that I'm very patient and I have periods where I'm not at all. So sometimes you have to wait 5 hours and nothing happens, and then in 1 hour you make $300. It's very, very bad for your mental health, and it can become addictive in a bad way. So I don't know what this Mistress Maya or whatever her name is doing. I really hope it's not the bad reason. And now we are going to analyze the good reason. Like, why do I have to bid $10 to take her place where number 2, Goddess Kenya, is only $190? I mean, does it really matter? Does number 1 and number 2 have that much of a difference? I mean, when a horny guy clicks, you really think he says, oh, she's number 2, I'm not going to click on her. No. This has to do with something else that I'm going to show you right away. The weird listing that you saw has to do with something called listing value score. I have this in front of me as notes. It's from Niteflirt Help Center, Help for Flirts, Manage Your Business. It's an article and explains it very well, so we're going to read it together. So the listing value score is unique for its listing, like they say, and there are several components. Basically, it measures how well your listing is performing against other listings that they are also being featured. Okay, so we're going to go through the components here. Click rate. How often do people click on it? They say appealing listing photos and category appropriate titles. My listings are the most autistic thing you can ever imagine. It's like, hi, it's me, I offer this, and call me, and a real photo of me. They do just fine. I say that because something that many of the women do not seem to understand is that a lot of the men on Niteflirt are older men. By older, I mean my oldest is 79 and I have several who are over 60. They don't want to see a listing necessarily. I'm saying if you can make a professionally made listing, like with someone to help you if you don't know the computer part stuff, okay, but you don't want to make something overly elaborate with neon lights and moving pictures and whispering photos and stuff that they're going to make them epileptic at their old age. So be precise and on point, and the photos, you cannot put like outright nudity in the photos, but they have to be sensual and sexy. In my opinion, that works best, whatever you're into. Thing number one, customer conversion. Customer conversion is something that I have aced down. I can convert like a huge amount of people, and I'm going to make videos explaining to you how to do it. And it says if your customer conversion score is low, consider making changes. I would say this is such a vague advice, like me saying, if your life doesn't go well, consider making changes. I'm not going to tell you what changes exactly, but we can fix that. If your customer conversion is not very high, don't panic. It happens when you are a beginner, and it happens from time to time when you're not a beginner as well, when it's the summer and their wife is there, their kids are there, the dog and the neighbor's dog are there, and they cannot call you. Okay. But if most people who click end up calling you, your conversion is going to be higher. That's the most important thing to remember. Recent customer conversion. I have had listings that I do not understand at all why I put so much effort and they never amounted to anything. And I have a listing that it doesn't even have a recorded voice because I was saying, oh, I'm going to record whatever, a message, and I never did. It has only one picture and 2 lines, and people click on it like insane. It's a recent one. If I have it on, it's ringing nonstop. You're going to say, how did you do that? 2 things. One is the one of the 99-cent experimental one, so it's super cheap. And the second is, you are not gay at all, but I'm going to convince you to be gay. And all the men who are totally straight, they are so not gay, but they want me specifically to convince them to be gay because, you know, I'm the magical sexual orientation changing fairy. I can make you addicted to BBC if I snap my fingers, so they call. What I want to say with all of this schizophrenic rambling is that these are general guidelines. One of the fun things about this profession is that you're going to find things that they apply only to you. So I'm not saying that something that worked for me will necessarily work for you, although most of them will. So in the meantime, just give it 30 days and try the advice I'm saying on multiple videos and see which one works for you and experiment. Customer retention. Do customers come back? Do they call you back? I have good news on this one. Once these people enter this site, no one really leaves. Some left because they passed away because of old age. Some left because they got incarcerated or something like that. But if they're not dead or in prison, they're going to be calling you. I had people calling me from military bases in the mountains. I had people calling me from hospital rooms where their wife was dying in the next room. I had people calling me from a public parking lot and having a police officer knocking the door and saying, sir, step out of the car, please. What are you doing in there? Because the guy was doing indecent things in his car in a public space. What I want to say is that the same people exist on this site since 2001, doing the rounds over and over and over. If you follow the advice that I have here, you will not even need many listings. You'll have more customers than you can actually entertain. If they do not call you again, several things can be happening that I came to realize after trial and error, and we're going to analyze them so that you are not stressed. The thing that I will not stop emphasizing is that in specific periods, they are going to have difficulty calling you. We analyzed that on a previous video. Most of these men are married with children and they live a double life. So anytime that children are at home is going to be slower period. Of course, they're going to overcompensate and binge call later. But if all of a sudden your customer retention rate is dropping and you don't do anything out of the ordinary, just look at the calendar. Possibly something like that. Reason number 2. A lot of them are actually addicted. This is something that is very immoral. I'm not proud of doing it. People are going to say that, oh, we're both consenting adults. I don't feel that a person who has a mental disease can actually consent properly. But again, morals are a topic for a different video. So they go through periods where they say, I want to quit the site. Personally, I don't believe that addicts of any type can quit anything unless they do cross addiction, unless they replace one addiction with another addiction. So for example, if a guy who is addicted to phone sex lines decides to become an ultra marathon runner and starts running 100-mile marathons, then yes, he's not going to have time to call you and he's going to be experiencing the runner's high and he's going to have a hot body and maybe find a girlfriend and all that. Most of these people don't move on from the couch even if they are on gunpoint. So the chances of them finding a healthy cross addiction that is enough to keep them outside of the site are 0.1%. So I have these people who delete their account every time, say they send me these very long letters like we are in some kind of romantic relationship from the 1800s where the soldier was writing to his beloved wife from the front line 10 paragraphs with his feelings, and it's something like, mistress, I love you, I'm so sorry that I have to do this, I don't want to hurt you, but I've decided to quit the site forever. It's for both of our sake. I wish you the best. I wish you all the happiness. It was so amazing that we spent time together. Most of the time when I see this type of letter, I don't even read it anymore because 99.9% of the times the people come back next week maximum or in a few months maximum. And when they're like, mistress, I'm back, I can't stay away from the site, I'm like, oh, no one saw that coming. And they're like, mistress, why are you so mean? I mean, dude, you have sent me 30 letters. Like, do you expect me to take you seriously? I've only seen this behavior in 2 places. One is Niteflirt, and the other one is the terminal incel forums when the incel says, I'm changing my life, I'm becoming a Chad. Bye, I'm leaving this cursed forum. And people are like, see you later, bro. Like, see you tomorrow. And he's back tomorrow. So when they do this, just don't waste a second of your precious mental energy. Say, okay, thank you, wish you the best, bye, and wait for them to come back. And sometimes, to be even more dramatic, they delete the account and then they make a new account and they come back. And this is all nonsense, but you're going to be getting paid from this nonsense, so that's why we tolerate it. Otherwise, if a man did this to me in the real dating world, I'm the one and done type of person. Like, the second time, I wouldn't even know who you are. Another reason why the customer retention rate isn't high is because it's your fault. And this is tied together to the previous video that I made, where I say that the advice that you make 10 accounts, like some crazy catfish or some internet sociopath with 10 different characters, and you are Mistress Violet, the cruel Punisher on one, and you're submissive Sandra, the sexy kitten, on the other, and people recognize your voice, this is the absolute sexual turn-off. Multiple personalities aren't sexy. So if you did that, or if you have a brand that didn't work out, or whatever, delete everything and start again with maximum 3 accounts. I'm going to be against that. I don't think it's good, like, for whoever promotes it. Don't treat other people like they're stupid. There is so much like misandrous talk on the side that, oh, men think with only their dicks, oh, men are like just whore dogs on that side. Not necessarily. In fact, your best clients are going to be high IQ men because high IQ men have high IQ jobs and they can pay you better. So if you are running 60 accounts with stolen photos or photos, grainy photos from 1991, and you expect people to keep coming back to this horse, like, circus show, no. It's not going to work. The good thing is you delete, you start over, that's it. Who buys a mail and who sends you a tribute? The best way to make people to buy your mail is, like I said, you make several videos that there are $1 or $2, you send them, people like what they see because it's of very good quality, and then it becomes easier to sell higher priced stuff. When it comes to tributes, from my experience in this economy, and with the bad things that other flirts did, that it's 100% their fault and not mine, men are becoming scared of sending tributes because of the extreme amount of women who think that femdom means I am an extremely money-hungry, evil bitch that brings nothing to the table. So the more you're going to demand for tributes, the more people are not going to want to send them. Usually what I say is something like, tributes are not obligatory, but they are noticed and appreciated, and the person who sends me tributes regularly is going to be prioritized. That's about it. Unless someone comes to me and wants to play tribute games, tribute with intox games, tribute with blackmail games, and all of that stuff that have money inside, I don't even bring it up. You don't need tributes to make a lot of money. Just focus on doing everything else we have said so far, and the money in the tributes will start coming on their own. I see a lot of people that they don't understand this, that they come to me and they say, you know, I've been doing this and I didn't make the money. And when I ask, how long have you been on coming, Niteflirt, whatever, they're like 3 months. So excuse me, you expected to become one of the goddesses who makes $20,000 a month in 3 months. Unless you're already a celebrity, unless you're already a Twitch gamer and have a community of dozens of thousands of people that you transfer them to Niteflirt, on 3 months, the only followers you're going to have, if you don't work 10 hours a day, is your dog and your mom's fake account. You're not going to have anybody else. Give it time. And I'm going to tell you something that I think that is super toxic, and close this video, that actually helps me endure a lot of things in life. Every time you see a difficulty and you think like, oh my God, why do I have to deal with this on top of that? Because, you know, sometimes I also get the urge to pick up the phone and say, for fuck's sake, what now on Niteflirt? When they have been insufferable all day. It's like some days that, if you've ever done a kindergarten job or a Walmart job, and there are these days where every client is insane, it happens on Niteflirt too. But look at the difficulty and tell yourself, is everybody else on that side having that difficulty? Even if it's not everybody else, I bet 90% of people have the same difficulty. If it's Christmas and it's slow for everyone. If you're on your period and you don't want to talk to a single soul and you still have to pick up the phone and be sexy Violet, every woman has a period. And women who do not have a period anymore had it for decades before us. So the difficulties can be weapons. We want the industry to not have stigma. We don't want to have to live double lives. Sometimes I feel like I'm a drug lord in LA, burner phones, aliases, multiple email addresses. Like it's so, people contact me like, mistress, I have to say something. You can't tell anyone. Like it's so stressful and so stupid. I don't want to live like that if I can. But on the other hand, we don't want to end up in the OnlyFans disaster too, because OnlyFans stopped being profitable because everyone and their dog wanted to join. You want your job to be something that not everyone can do. You want the difficulties to exist, to form a barrier so that only the people who are willing to climb that mountain and come to the other side can join. We don't want this stupid idea of, oh, you just make a listing and you sit there and you're sexy and men are going to pay you. If only it was that simple. It's not. Seduction is an art. If you read historical books, or if you read The Memories of a Geisha, which is a book that if you like reading or if you like ebooks, I definitely recommend it. The movie is also good, but the book shows it in much more detail how much geisha had to train to actually seduce a man. It wasn't only about the kimonos and the pretty painted faces and the dancing and the singing. You had to be able to hold the art of conversation. It wasn't art of conversation, it was seduction. People tend to forget this nowadays because, for me, coming is so much easier than Niteflirt because I have my body to show. On Niteflirt, photos aren't the same thing. So if you want to do that and you want to excel at that, embrace every difficulty. You can say to yourself, this difficulty is going to stop everybody else, but it's not going to stop me. I keep going. I'm going to be a top golden Niteflirt performer. Okay. When you get to the gold ranks, this is where the thousands of dollars, you're going to have $1,000 days at that point. And it's very nice. It's very satisfying to know that you can do that with just your voice. Because I mean, you can do phone with cam too, but I know people who do only phone and they are gold performers. So why not you too? I'm sharing all of this because I'm tired of this mystifying aspect on Niteflirt that bidding. Somehow it happens, no one knows exactly how. No, I'm going to tell you how. You need to know exactly how. You need to know as much as you can. If my information changes, if something changes or is a new thing that I found out or there is a new update, I'm going to make a new follow-up video. But for now, the goal is to understand the logic of how we do this. And the logic is you shouldn't go there like a grifter aiming to take money and run. That is not going to work well and it's going to disappoint you. If you want to just have a side gig, which is totally fine, do what I say here, just do it for fewer hours. Show up for a 4-hour shift when you need money and that's it. And you're still going to build the following. It's slower, but it will happen. And last but not least, it says listing value score is not fixed and may change regularly based on recent results. This is a very polite, very nice way from the capitalist dystopia to say you dare to not work, your listing will tank to punish you, and that's about it. You can be very successful on Niteflirt and have a low listing value score. Yes, if you work like a slave in the feudalist era, 16 hours a day on top of a plot of land, digging to find beetroot, you can. I suggest if you want to be successful to actually aim to make your listing value score very, very high. Because I want your life to be easy. Burning out is a nasty thing. Okay, this is all for today for this video. I hope it helped. For the people who have questions about Niteflirt, please leave them in the comments and I'm going to answer them. And if the question needs extensive answering or if it's something that many people need, I'm happy to make a Q&A video and include all the questions. I'm writing them down. And if you want to do one thing to support me back, please just subscribe and like the video. I'm not selling you anything here. YouTube is going to pay me. You don't have to pay me. You're just helping me grow the channel and helping me keep the stalker at bay because I have this freak doing the rounds that is actually time-stamping and reporting every video. Even things that I said in 2020 that I don't even remember what I was saying anymore because I've been talking shit on the internet for years. He found them and he time-stamped them and now I have to actually submit reports on YouTube for the videos to be manually evaluated and the monetization to be back on. Which is a very stupid process, honestly. Because every time they put it back on, but the days that it was demonetized, I lost income from that. Okay, thank you for watching.